Criminals do not obey laws. Now, I've started a lot of videos with this particular image and that statement, and I'm sure a lot of people are yawning. Yes, we know, Maki, Washington, D.C. is full of criminals and they don't obey any laws. Well, what if I told you that by the end of this video, I'm going to come back to this picture and I'm going to make a statement and you're going to go, whoa, I never thought about it that way. Now, I'm sure a lot of folks are like, this better not be a long video. Believe me, we're going to get right to it. We're going to get right to it. There's something going on right now that a lot of people aren't seeing. There's a double standard being applied, and it's being applied across the board. And everybody's just going along with it. Mr. Trump, however, is quite well aware of it. And there's something else going on regarding the Epstein files that I think a lot of people haven't thought about. He might be doing something that's more constructive than releasing the Epstein files. I know a lot of people want justice, but there might be something else going on. Now, real quick, as always, gratitude. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining the Patreon channel. Very, very much appreciate it. A lot of folks signed up this weekend. Got brand new videos up last week or so. And people are engaging. People are really saying, you know what? This is the direction we have to go now, where we can take the gloves off and talk about what we need to talk about. And the best part is, I know times are tough. If things get rough, you've got 90 days. 90 days, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. It's what now, the first week, end of the first 10 days of August. So August, September, October. We're going to be getting on to Thanksgiving before you'd have to make a decision. Hundreds of videos, all levels, $2 a month, $5, $10, $15. Love to have you over there. God bless all of you. Without any further delay, let's get right to it. There's something going on that I think a lot of people haven't thought about with the Epstein files. What if, instead of releasing the files, he has this list of names, and all of these individuals who are on this list of names, he can then go to and say, you know what, Mr. Power Broker in Media, Mr. CEO of this corporation or whatever, I'd really like to have you on board with the agenda that MAGA has put forward. And we have these tapes, and we have this information that if we released it, it could be bad for you, be bad for your business, be bad for your family. We're going to hang on to this and encourage you to work with the MAGA agenda. And quietly, secretly, behind closed doors, he's having these meetings, or he's having people have these meetings for him. And they're saying, okay, all right, you know what, we'll just move our company or this corporation in this direction or that direction, and we'll do what we can. And that would also explain the tariffs as well, and why a lot of businesses are silent about it. That he's probably holding a lot of cards right now in his hand that can control a lot of people. Blackmail for the best of reasons is still blackmail. But it dovetails right along with another topic. And it, believe it or not, it's from right here in my own backyard. Fake, quote unquote, giant air quotes, fake nurse arrest. Florida Mucky, what does it have to do with this? Follow along. Think about this for just a minute. Fake nurse arrest. This woman was accused of treating more than 4,000 patients as a, once again, giant air quotes, unlicensed nurse. See, she had gone to nursing school. She had been trained as a nurse. There was some hiccup with her background or something that didn't allow her to technically work as a licensed nurse, but she knew what she was doing. And in the I think it was 4,400 and something odd patients, not one person was harmed. Not a single person was harmed. Now, here's my question on this. Beacon nurse jumps into action to help elderly victim at accident scene. Was anybody asking that quote-unquote Beacon nurse? I think that's a hospital up in the Midwest somewhere. Is your license up to date? Before you can go help that elderly victim at this accident scene, I want to see a card that says that you're actually a nurse. I mean, you're telling me you're a nurse, but You're not in a hospital setting, so I don't know if I trust you or not. So if you're at an accident scene and you're bleeding out, or a loved one is bleeding out, or someone else is in dire need of some help, are you going to start asking for licenses? So you need a license to drive, don't you? That doesn't mean bad things don't happen. See, write that down. You need a license to drive, but there are still car accidents, and there are still people who die and people get hurt. That doesn't mean the person was unlicensed, right? You see, licensed people, no matter what the license is, whether it's a plumber or whether it's a chef or whether it's a nurse or a doctor, bad things happen. They're less likely to happen, I guess, if you talk about people who have spent the time doing the training. But the license has nothing, more and more these days, has nothing to do with the training. Here's a picture of a guy that was off duty, and there was a car accident, and there was a pregnant woman, and he saved both the baby and the mom. Kudos to him. What if he had just retired, though? What if he had just retired? He'd spent 30 years being a nurse and decided, you know what, I'm going to hang it up? And wasn't actually a nurse when he did this. Would that have changed anything? Should somebody have stopped him? And here's where things are going to get a little bit dicey. Makee, I swear, if you... Yep, going to bring it up. See, the Patriot nurse, I watched her for a long time. I don't believe that she's an OBGYN, but she's worked in maternity. And I don't believe that she's an orthopedist, but I'll bet she could probably help out if you had a broken leg. And if somebody decided to pop off a few rounds and one of them carelessly ended up inside of you, she's not a surgeon, but I bet you'd be thankful as hell if she happened upon the scene. And I doubt you'd be asking for licenses, would you? What if somebody decided, you know what, we're going to unlicense, or we're going to revoke the licenses of all nurses who don't get vaxxed? What would you do then? Would you say, okay, well, they're not licensed nurses anymore, so I'm not going to this, that, and the other? And just for clarification, a retired nurse with no license can still fill volunteer opportunities or pursue roles that don't require a license but utilize their nursing experience, such as medical writing or patient advocacy. However, practicing as a nurse without a license is illegal and carries significant legal and professional blah, 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 blah. Okay, there, I said it. Now, here's what ties this all together. You need licenses for all these things, right? This little part here that's been outlined basically translates is the nurse can't be paid. A nurse can go volunteer places and do things, but you can't practice, meaning you can't be hired, you can't be paid. Why? Because what's going to happen is the hospital that had this nurse on staff for as long as this girl was is going to get the pantsuit off of it. It's all about money. It's not about skill. It's not about talent. There's a huge nursing shortage in this country. It's all about money. M-O-N-E-Y. Don't believe me? Ask her. It's about money. The licensing racket is all about money. I don't care what the license is. Money. One does not simply escape the inevitable consequences of capitalism. The love of money being the root of all evil. And can you imagine the conversation? Sitting around your zombie apocalypse group campfire, your survival group. Hey Bob, those braised badger biscuits we had earlier, they're not quite sitting right with me. I think I'm going to need to see your chef's license. I'm going to need to see that, you were trained to be a chef. You're going to cook for us. And, hey, Susan, I noticed that this bandage that you gave me, it isn't quite doing the job. Can I see your nurse's license? And I need to see everybody's weapons licenses. You going to start asking for paperwork when shit hits the fan? I didn't think so. I didn't think people would. Super turbo hyper capitalism. Now, less than 10 minutes. Let's get back to this. What does it have to do with this? Do you need a license to be a politician? Do you need a license to be president, vice president, secretary of defense, secretary of state? Do you need a license or any specific training and documentation to serve in the most powerful positions in our government, where life and death hangs in your hands, walking around with a nuclear football, having the ability to ruin people's lives with a stroke of a pen, and enforcing laws that require licenses? Do you need a license to do that? No, you don't. That's your whoa moment. Never thought about criminals do not obey laws. Yeah, there is no criminal license, is there? You see, you could vote somebody best nurse ever. No license, no job. She could walk into any hospital and before anybody says anything, I'm not saying she's unlicensed. I'm sure she is. Positive that she is. But even if she wasn't, let's say she had 1,000 people that would give her, great references. Oh my gosh, she did this and she did that and she showed me how to do this and I was sick and then all this. None of that would matter. None of reality would matter to our government. And they've convinced most people that it doesn't matter either. Does it? This is the whole de facto de jure thing. See, de facto, in truth, in reality, the girl working as the nurse didn't harm a soul. Did not harm one single soul. In fact, she was being promoted, and somebody was jealous. Somebody was jealous and upset that she was getting promoted, so they decided to do a bunch of digging around on this girl. And guess what? The Patriot Nurse has done videos talking about how in the nursing field that they eat their own, so to speak. That those that are part of the established routine don't like anyone coming in and being better or setting a higher standard or anything like that. That's how she got caught. Somebody got jealous. And somebody got with somebody who knew somebody in HR, and they decided to do a whole bunch of digging around, and they found something that wasn't right with her background. And that's how she got caught. Jealousy. She was doing a great job. She was going to be promoted. That was the part that got her. She was going to be promoted in her department to, I think it's called charge nurse. I don't know what the ranks of nurse are, but she was going to be promoted to charge nurse. That's how good she was. And this is the first thing I thought about was Patriot Nurse's videos talking about that. How reality doesn't matter. Think about it. Accident happens. You're going to start getting picky if you need help. Would you rather the nurse not have jumped into, you know what? I'm not sure about whether my licenses really apply outside of the hospital or not, and I'm on the side of the road here. I'm in a different county. Maybe I'm in a different state. And maybe they have to, you know what? I'm just going to drive by the accident. I'm just going to keep driving by the accident. I don't want to take a chance on anybody getting litigious. But isn't it odd? Isn't it odd that those in charge of enforcing licenses don't actually have to have a license to do what they do themselves? I'll leave that there. That, my friends, is Psychological Operations 101. The government has convinced you need a license just to have a job to barely get by. But they don't need a license to make scads of money and control the stock market and bet on insider information in the stock market and make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. They don't need any licenses to do that. All you have to do is continue to vote for them. But please continue to be distracted by something that happened 25 years ago. All of it happened 25 years ago. and they want to distract you with quote-unquote justice. Join us. Florida Monkey Patreon channel. Love to have you over there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.